Hey folks, this is BestInSlot with some brand new information, finally, and a semi-release date for Jurassic Park Survival. We've got brand new screenshots, information about new dinosaurs, and some concept art and the release date stuff. Let's get started. So here we have our first screenshot, an alpha in-game screenshot. It has been blown up from quite a small size, so apologies about the quality, but as you can see, it looks like our player character Maya is hiding behind a foliage-strewn log as Rexy approaches from the gloom in the distance. There's not much else to say about this one. Rexy kind of looks like Rexy. I want to see her in even more detail. She looked a little bit malnourished last time around. But, you know, this is a cool vibe, hiding from Rex in the foliage, in the darkness. Very much the kind of feeling we want from this game. And what we're going to do is we're going to alternate between new screenshots and information. So, where has this come from? Well, Universal and Saber have shared with us in this circumstance is IGN, and I'll link their article down below. And they held an internal Q&A conducted with Universal Products and Experiences executive producer John Melchior and Saber Interactive creative director Oliver Hollis-Leach, which contained a number of tidbits about what to expect from Jurassic Park Survival. What we know so far, the game takes place one day after the events of the 1993 film. The action is going to follow InGen scientist Maya Joshi, who has been left behind on Isla Nublar after the characters of the film have escaped. She's got to survive the park, escape the park, avoiding dinosaurs and other hazards as she goes. And then we've got another screenshot. So a small pack of 3 velociraptors approaching through the woodlands, lit by the moonlight. We've got some god rays going on there. This is interesting in 2 different ways. First of all, the raptors to me still feel a little bit Jurassic World rather than Jurassic Park. I would say they look better here though than where they did in the past. The one on the right in particular I think has got a really nice head shape. The other thing of course is the raptor population got a little bit decimated during the events of Jurassic Park, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do to add more dinosaurs to the canon. We'll be talking about that very, very soon though. They do have plans. We are going to see a little bit more. So they're talking about where you're going to go, what you're going to experience on the island in terms of the environment and locations. We've been working with all of our stakeholders on what the island would have looked like after the events of the film. This includes areas we all love, like the visitor center and the T-Rex paddock. It's going to be so cool to see those two come to life fully. But also what we didn't see, things that were not part of the tour or got caught off by the storm. Those on the island were supposed to be there overnight, so what does that mean? What would they have seen and where would they have stayed if everything went according to plan? That is where we are starting. One thing for certain, the island is as much a part of the story as the characters and dinosaurs. So it sounds like the story itself might entirely start in the hotels, something we didn't see in the films whatsoever, but there was of course a hotel complex for guests to stay at Jurassic Park. We could see the docks, we could see various other dinosaur exhibits that weren't included. I'm sure there's a bunch of backstage areas we never got to see. They could add in other stuff like the Bone Shaker from Jurassic Park the game or their own equivalent. You know, there's scope here to expand and add little bits of the park in development or little staff areas that we never got to see in reality. It's exciting stuff, isn't it? Our third of these screenshots, Mr. DNA in all of his glory. Hopefully is going to play the entire Mr. DNA movie. This is of course from when they first go to the visitor center. You've got the red chairs there on the left with the bars that come down, or at least they try to. And, you know, Alan Grant and a lot, they kind of push the bars up to go and explore the lab. I mean, look, I want like a really cool game. I want a really fun game and a fun world to sort of explore, but more than anything, I want this really beautiful recreation of Jurassic Park. I want to see all of these places that we've seen and love in the film. I want to see them come to life and be able to explore them in my own time and have a look around. And this is really promising. We're seeing already so many places from the film come to life in a really realistic manner. Obviously, the lighting's very slightly different. I'm just going to bring up a comparison image for this one, though. You can see how similar the two are. The shape of the viewing area, it's got the black outline and then it's got this kind of striated vertical wood rock kind of thing going on, and then it becomes more like concrete, and then you've got the light slats at the top and at the side. It's awesome. It's awesome. As they said, speaking of the characters and the dinosaurs, it sounds like we'll see new ones of both. Hollis-Leach specifically refers to new characters, plural, meaning more than just the scientist Maya, and in response to a question about special dinosaurs in the game that aren't in the movie, Melchior uncryptically replied with, "Life finds a way." Sounds cryptic, not uncryptically, but either way. Now, what I'm hoping this means is that they've not just thrown in lots of random dinosaurs that canonically won't make sense. No, I'm okay to expand the canon and say there's like secret things going on. I'm down with that. But what I'm really hoping is that maybe we get to see the Metriacanthosaurus exhibit, or we get to see the Stegosaurus exhibit, or we get to see the Herrerasaurus exhibit, something like that. Dinosaurs that are established as being on the island and established as having exhibits built, established as being part of that wider canon, but that we never got to see in the film. That would be a really cool meshing of both adding new things to the film, but also keeping it tied with the wider canon. So we've got one more image. This is concept art rather than in-game. But this is actually really interesting because this is not Jurassic Park. Well, this isn't something we see in Jurassic Park. This is the radio tower bunker thingamajiggy. And you don't see this in Jurassic Park. You actually only see this in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I actually built this for Prehistoric Kingdom at some point. So it would have been on the island. You know, when we see it in Fallen Kingdom, it's overgrown. The plant life has taken it back. So we do see it later on in the films, and it is established as being on Isla Nublar, but it hasn't been part of the original Jurassic Park. So again, that's another really interesting way to expand the canon. You can use those later films that have the sort of overgrown aspects of the park and bring them back in their original form right here in the original Jurassic Park as well. Last bit of text. The island is full of different types of terrain, many of them quite challenging. The player will need to use caution and planning in some cases, checking routes in advance. There will also be times when the player will need to move very carefully through an environment to avoid the attention of certain predators. Maybe such as that Rex scene we saw a little bit earlier on, where you can't move when she's looking at you. Maya, the main character, is neither superhuman nor an action hero. There are real risks for her around every corner, and the player will need to use a mixture of intelligence, grit, and patience to survive the island's many challenges. And that all sounds really good. You know, when this takes place, there's just been a brutal storm. Maybe there's mudslides, maybe there's pits, maybe rock slides, maybe storms hit again, you're going to lose your vision, you know, there's going to be lightning, twisters, monsoons, who knows what nonsense could hit the island. But it sounds like the island itself has been given a lot of attention. I really want it to not just be dinosaurs every 5 seconds. I know that might sound daft, but you want to be able to explore the island and feel like the island itself is out to get you, not just the animals. The only thing I want to see more of is some herbivorous love. You know, I want to see the brachy and the trike and stuff like that, but we've got a little while to go till the game comes out, because the final thing they said, unfortunately, we may still have a while to wait, as Universal and Saber aren't sharing a release date just yet, but did confirm the game won't be out in 2024. We'll see it out eventually on PS5, Xbox, and PC, so not coming this year, which I don't think is that surprising. There was a bit of a thing the other day because there's a Russian key selling site and they have listed it as a 2026 release date. Now that is the only place on the internet with 2026, and I went and had a very thorough look and I couldn't find anywhere else that says 2026. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that necessarily. My guess is that they'll release it roughly next summer, 2025, to coincide with the release of the new film and kind of bank on that nostalgia. Either way, we'll hopefully find out relatively soon when that release date will be. Either way, brand new screenshots, brand new concept art, confirmation of new characters and, more excitingly, new dinosaurs, and some of the other locations we're going to be visiting. I'm just so happy to hear stuff about the game finally. We've been living in the wilderness, with starving in the wilderness for so long. It's very cool to finally get some information. That's Jurassic Park Survival. Hope you're all excited. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Throw me a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you lovely folks very soon. Cheers much love as always. Bye-bye.